please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today was meant to be the exhibition of stupid people, but I saw a video on Twitter that, well, intrigued and tickled me enough that I thought, yes, let's do that. There was some more Just a Robot stuff that had dropped. I may well save that for Monday, DMs and such. The subject in question concerns Boogie2988 and DarkSydePhil. Now we had covered where Boogie had stated he would be willing to go on DarkSydePhil's channel if a condition was agreed upon, that being DarkSydePhil goes on lolcow live. It would be a good idea, mutually beneficial to all parties. We saw what happened for Phil when he went on Kino Casino. It would make sense to go on to lolcow live because it would generate a lot of attention and in turn would generate a lot of attention for Phil. There is, however, a belief in the back of my mind that has me think that perhaps the reason Phil won't go on is because of pride, but also because of an irrational fear that his channel will suddenly become, well, nuked. He will end up destroying his career from appearing on the same stage as that of Keemstar, DJ Killer Keemstar. So Boogie had posted a video because of issues arising trying to sort this all out. Let's go through that.
Y'all, I try to do DarkSydePhil the favor of going and appearing on a show for him.
Even before someone mentions it, yes, there is something on his lip. I believe he mentions in the comments to his tweet that he had chapped lips. At this point, it was not, in fact, food. I doubt this. But that's just me being a judgy prick. Additionally, the first mistake you made was trying to accommodate for the diva that is DarkSydePhil. DivaSydePhil is the type to want M&Ms, but only one colour, white, because he's a basic bish.
And giving him free content. And it took like a week to settle down a date. I picked last Friday, and I give him the caveat that, like, look, my business comes first, right?
Well, herein lies one of many problems. You see, for Phil, who has been online for so long, it's not about your subscriber count, it's not about your viewer count, it's about what he can get out of you because he is the apex predator. He's numero uno, the big machismo. He believes that because of who he is, and because your views on lolcow live do not align with his, he is simply superior to you. DarkSydePhil is many things. Incapable of taking a joke, in possession of a tiny tallywhacker. He looks like Pee Wee Herman, had Pee Wee Herman been smashed in the face with a plaster of stereo. He acts like a dog that's always chased his own tail and never seeks to go forward. Being in possession of tunnel vision, he is incapable of being able to use things like hindsight, foresight, comedy. I say that knowing full well that Phil cannot understand a joke unless he's the one telling it, but if you've seen his gameplay, he doesn't know how to be funny or to take the funny, because he gets very angry very quick, and because he wants to blame everyone, everywhere, every time. So getting him on your show, even if you went onto his show, is unlikely now, isn't it?
lolcow live comes first. So even though we can schedule a date, if Keemstar needs me to travel, if the show needs me to do something, I have to prioritize my business and my show. But otherwise, I'm glad to come on as soon as I can.
I like the openness that Boogie is willing to do that, as long as he's able to do his work first. That's important. It's a shame, really, that, and if you've watched Phil long enough you know this, it's not reciprocated. You have to cater to his schedule, his rather stream-intensive schedule with regular interval breaks, because he doesn't want to break his routine or risk losing his audience. He's very set in his ways in this. He believes if he doesn't stream at those specific times, doesn't get the minimum donation goal of $50, he has failed and he is failing, because he is in this odd position as a career where he just exists to do that. If he fails, then he has to stream more, which obviously he'll do because he needs you to give him the money so he can spend it on all his poor decisions, and to meet his, what he has dubbed, low end.
We decided last Friday wasn't good enough. So over the weekend, I tried to get a new date, and I'm like, okay, look, I don't know what day surgery is for Jordy. I want to be available for his surgery in case something goes bad, if he needs help. But I think Tuesday will work.
Who wants to bet this now becomes a power play because you provided a really good time based on, you wanting to put your friend first, that because Phil needs to put this and base it around his schedule, he will not be able to commit to such an event. I say this because Phil is very much the type that he will give you the time and you must be there because he believes he is the A side. The thing here is, he hasn't been on Lolcow Live, which would have been great with him, Geordie and Boogie. They have done really well without him on there once. It cannot be denied they are succeeding. He is stagnating because he is known for a number of things. For being a terrible person, for being a terrible gamer, for being an entitled prick, for being a grifter, for being a waste of space and a waste of your hard-earned coin. So I would expect him to now say, no, this one's not good enough for me, even though it is not optimal time because schedule conflict.
And I told him that Monday night. All right, Monday night, I'll be there tomorrow morning. He decides that's not good enough because he needs his audience to have some major prep time. He wants to put it on his schedule.
I don't want to start doing an I told you so dance, but kind of called that. Phil is very much the type that you must obey his rules of engagement. If you don't, he'll scurry back to his cave and carry on as if you are nothing to him. Because as long as you don't derail his train, where his pay pigs pay him whatever they pay him, to shout at them, to criticize them when he sucks at games, then you're fine.
Or something like that. And I'm like, all right, well, let's reschedule a third time. And he's like, all right, this time add me on Discord. Here's the problem. I don't use Discord. I'm a 50-year-old man.
But didn't you know a goalpost must now be created so that the line of communication can be secured and that you become even more of a bish for him? Although I do think there's no real age issue concerning those that use Discord. No, I'm not getting defensive. I use it. Of course I do. My patrons are on it. In the case of Phil, I'm impressed he'd willingly go to Discord to explore alternative lines of communication as if the previous one wasn't good enough. I would assume that, and this seems somewhat accurate, he's too lazy to go from whatever you were using beforehand, Twitter DMs perhaps, to, I don't know, WhatsApp, Skype, 2 tin cans and a line of string, to simply ensure that if you are going to work together, collaborate on a show, which, by the way, this is a ball ache not worthy of a show together, that perhaps it would be easier to just do it. What does Phil think he's going to do? Promote it on his Twitter? He has as much pull as I do on Twitter. That's to say, not much, unless he prefaces it with an animal picture.
I use it for my Lolcow Live server. That's it. I don't do friends. I don't message people. I'm a 50-year-old man. I don't like Discord. I don't want to use Discord. We've not used Discord to coordinate any of this yet.
I should probably also insert, I could have sworn you were banned from some social media. I thought Discord might have been on the list. I'm also going to go back and restate, your age should play no part in you using or not using Discord. I promise you it shouldn't. If you, the individual, are judging what you should have access to based on your age, you are limiting what you can and can't do. I don't agree with that. It's like people who think you can only wear certain things at a certain age in your life, right? Oh, you're over 40, you shouldn't be wearing hoodies anymore or sweats. No, you can wear whatever you bloody well like. But right at the end then, Boogie said, we haven't been coordinating this, so why insert Discord? And I know why. It's because then he forces you to be present somewhere else. And when it doesn't work out there, he'll shift it somewhere else. Better go dust off that Skype account.
We've done all of this on Twitter, so now suddenly we have to do it on Discord. So then I go into Discord and they try to figure out where his account is. I have like 400 friend requests on Discord. Why we have to use Discord for this, I don't know at this point.
Yeah, he's giving you the ringer, the run round the whole thing. He's just trying to make you be his bish. I'm sorry, if anyone thinks otherwise, you're wrong. Phil is trying to play Boogie on purpose. Because he knows by making Boogie do all this, he is inconveniencing Boogie. It's hilarious for someone that is as low down the totem as Phil, whose only real worth now is the fact that he's a shitty person and his name carries that weight because of it, which would make him an entertaining guest on Lolcow Live.
So then, I found out today he's decided to cancel.
I desperately wanted to laugh, and I do apologise, Boogie. I wanted to laugh so badly at that, because it was very much a imagine my shock moment situation type of deal. Go figure, once Phil milked this to drive up interest in his content, he'd no longer be interested, and of course him being the quitting type. If you've seen him play video games, he is he is a rage quitter. He should personally pay you for wasting your time, because I don't think at this point he would have ever been interested in having you on, more so if the caveat existed that he had to go on Lolcow Live, because once you had been on his show, you first, he would make every excuse to cancel and therefore drag out the drama, knowing that by not going on your show, he'd still get some residual interest in his content, even though by going on your show, he'd get a lot more interest in his content. He doesn't have the IQ points necessary to see how these can be mutually beneficial to all parties involved.
Which is fine.
No, it's not. But it's unsurprising.
You know, like, one of the reasons I was doing it was to give him content.
Yes, well, that was your first mistake. Apparently he can get content from not even bothering to put on a show. Give it time. I'm sure he'll have his own explanation about this, and some DMs may be released. You never know. That'll certainly make this interesting, won't it?
Another reason I was doing it was in the hopes that maybe one day he would come on our show, even though he said he never would, even though he said he'd need $50,000 payment to come on our show, which is obviously never going to happen. I would still want to do his show for free, just because I like Phil.
See, that's the thing with Phil. Every bar has to be shifted, moved to an unreasonable level, because even if you did manage to raise $50,000 to get him on, the show would never make back that kind of money. He'd expect some of the money the show made anyway, and if he had 50 grand, he would have spent it before he was even on the show in the first place. Or he'd take the 50 grand and not turn up, because he knows, by not doing so, he'd just generate more controversy, which means in turn he'd get more attention on his content, so he can then start to ban people, milk them dry, and all the other bullshit pay-pig commentary I can insert here. I like that you're willing to because you like him though. We can talk about the liking part until we're blue in the face, but the fact you're willing to shows a proactive attitude. This is not something Phil possesses unless it involves Phil doing his own thing, right? Do his own show, do his own streams. Get angry when he's not doing well at his own thing, show, streams, because Phil sucks at games. I was also going to insert a rather crass joke about cracking one off and being bad at that as well, but I thought maybe I won't go down that line of thought. You never know, maybe he'll be like Drakenlord and have his own P-Hub page, if there isn't one already.
This is what it's like to try to do DarkSydePhil a solid and give him the favor of free content.
Well, I do hope, Boogie2988, you have learnt your lesson, and not to bother wasting your energy on someone like Phil. To be honest, I firmly support many people not wanting to work with Phil, because what's the point? Usually people only use him when it's to own other people, and even then Phil's benefiting from it. Because there's a huge wing of the internet that doesn't like Keemstar, Phil is someone many will go to talk about, well, crapping on Keemstar, and he'll happily do it. When it comes to going on his show, he expects you all to adhere to his rules of whatever it is he's decided, yeah? He's a control freak, a micromanaging one at that. He has to be in absolute control. The only time he's ever not truly in control is when he's on stream begging for more donations because he's already run out of money, which at this stage of his life is quite amusing. And yes, by amusing, I mean tragic. Now, as we've reached the end of the video, I have something to promote. Tomorrow on Moistski Live, the streaming channel I have, if you go to the homepage, it's at the bottom, Moistski Live, yeah, I'm going to be hosting a whiskey stream, another episode of Not Worth a Call. There's no thumbnail and it's not actually set yet because I don't have the thumbnail image. Sorry. The theme will be Lagavulin, an Isla single malt delight. In fact, my bar is named in honour of it. It's called the Marbury Bar. Hope to see you there if you're interested. If not, have a cracking weekend. Thank you very much for listening.